Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I'm Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads and appointments without cold calling, ad spend, or spamming, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Today, I have a great guest with me coming from the state of Colorado. David, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company?
Sure. Hey, Jim, great to be here on your podcast. Looking forward to the conversation. My name is David Jitendranath. I go by David J, so people can pronounce my last name. I run a strategic digital transformation boutique company called Modestack. I've been in IT for over 20 years. Started off my career as a developer and moved on to architect roles, program management roles, some leadership positions that I've had in the past. The reason I started my firm was more seeing what's happening in the industry in terms of how efforts such as digital transformation and innovation are not outcome driven, or very few are outcome driven. You have a lot of investment going in those digital spends and IT spend, and not a lot of people see the return on that investment, so to speak, right? So that's what our company focuses on. My company focuses on developing digital programs that produce outcomes on your strategic initiatives. So we work on creating digital roadmaps, innovation hub, as well as data strategy, and for AI type work. So those are the three focus areas for Modestack.
Got it. So outside of work, I saw that you mentioned that you like watching the Broncos and the Packers play specifically. I happen to be, in Wisconsin myself, and Cheesehead, so that kind of piqued my interest. Why specifically the Broncos and the Packers?
Right. Obviously, I live in Denver, so I've got to be a Broncos fan. And, Broncos is such a phenomenal team. Going through a little bit of troubled times these days. I think maybe some executive leadership issues, perhaps. I'm not, I do watch NFL, but it's not like I'm not a pundit or anything like that. So, I just like to watch it for the fun of it. Certainly like the Packers as a team, obviously they've got a lot of talent. It's sort of like, I want to say Packers, at least lately, has been very individualistic, like everybody wants to play for their own glory, so to speak. So way
there's
that
been a little drama around a certain player lately.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. So it's in a way there's a lot of showmanship, which I kind of like. It's almost like a performance. So that's why I like watching them. And obviously they've got great talent too. It's not like they do back that showmanship with it's almost like watching WWF or something.
Yeah, it's all about the show here in Wisconsin. So what would you say, getting back to business now, what would you say is your superpower when it comes to business, and what can other people learn from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think our superpower is being very focused on what we do best, right? Usually IT firms try to do everything. They want to be managed service providers. They want to be help desk providers. They want to be in digital road mapping. They want to be in strategy, development, software development, like so many different areas.
Uh-huh.
What when when you talk to folks in my company, they're, each of us are very focused, and that doesn't mean we still are very innovative and creative, in the sense we strive to continuously improve what we do on a day-to-day basis. So our superpower is digital road mapping. You guys can go to our website and see a lot of our testimonials, and there's some testimonials on my LinkedIn page as well.
Uh-huh.
And we build data strategies like nobody else. If you want to operationalize your data and make sense of your data, we are the go-to folks to create the right strategy so you can execute on that. So really, we focus on those two areas, and innovation being the third. So we've, one of the things that we gain from focus is having a repeatable executable process, right?
Uh-huh.
We have a lot of standard operating procedures for how we operate, and we're continuously improving that, as I said too. So I would say that's what is our superpower, and that's what perhaps my advice or recommendation to our fellow IT providers would be to create a focus areas, work with partners, and it's not a competition. Even the worst of competition that you think as the devil is not necessarily the devil. You actually may end up, working with them in some fashion and collaborating.
Got it. So really it's a matter of focusing on doing something and doing it really well, not trying to do everything and anything for everybody. Uh,
Completely agree.
yeah. So is that something you just been since you started in the business? Is that just been what you've always done, or is it something that you realized over time? How did uh,
That's a great question. Yeah. So I think my path to I don't have an MBA or anything like that. So my path to this is the School of Hard Knocks, right?
like
When
mine
I
also?
tried to exactly. So when I tried to do everything in my first 3 years, I you know there were certain things I did well. There were certain things my clients didn't appreciate. And I quickly learned that those were not areas that I should either collaborate with partners or look at referrals, referring folks, my clients to them, right? So really, I think it's and another thing is also, yeah, I would also recommend this other podcast. It's called Two Bobs. It's from the office space movie,
Uh-huh.
like where the Bob and Bob consultants come in, right? I think he wrote a book. David Baker wrote a book called, I forget the name of the book right now, but his name is David C. Baker. Two Bobs is the podcast. It's very easy to find the name of the book. It's a really small book on strategy and how you can find your focus area. So that really helped me.
Cool. So the bot. So I'm just sorry.
Two
The
Bobs is the
Two
name of the
Bobs is
podcast.
the name of the book.
Two Bobs is the name of the
Name of the
podcast.
podcast. What
The
is
author's name is David C. Baker,
David C.
but I don't
Baker?
remember. I don't
Right.
remember the name of the book.
Okay.
It's.
So
We can put it on the show notes later if I can email that to you.
yes, sure, it can do that. So David C. Baker, I guess you could probably search for David C. Baker on Amazon and find it. Uh,
Absolutely, you will be able to. It's a red book.
got it. And so that definitely makes sense. And I mean, in my business, I learned that over time too, that now we focus on doing, you focus on doing one thing and doing it well. Get people that they're like, well, do you do websites? No, I don't do websites. Don't ask me questions about websites.
Right.
Do you help with sales? No, I don't help with your sales. Don't ask me questions about sales. We help you generate leads and that's it. So
Right.
uh we focus on that. And the for us, we also it's focusing on who we serve,
Yeah.
whereas we focus on the IT niche and serve IT related companies. So, if you're an accountant, don't come to me and ask me for help either.
Right. No, I think having an industry niche is also worthwhile to have. We do have that as well. Um, I mean, I think that now the names come to me. It's called The Business of Expertise. That's the name of the book. Really what it talks about is how can you, it's very difficult for to a business owner when you tell them like, hey, what's your industry focus, what's your area of expertise, what is it that you do really well, you may know 100 different things. How do you really
Yep.
strategize and identify that 5 different things that you're really exceptional at, right? So that's what this book helps you process and walk through. That really helped me, and it's a very hard exercise when you have to say no to a lot of things, like you're saying no to accountants, and you're kind of specifically doing sales and implementation for IT companies, right? So
Yes, it is something that takes a process of. Uh, first, I think most people think, well, why I want to serve anybody and everybody that I can, and then you quickly realize that that's a way to be not actually serve anybody well is by serving anybody and everybody.
yeah.
Uh, any other words of wisdom before we wrap up here?
Not really. I mean, I think we are living in a very digitally accelerated time. I encourage everybody to take advantage of the resources that are currently available to accelerate certain things. Perhaps it's a good time to retrospect. Maybe you have some downtime. So really, I've been doing both. I mean, accelerating on the stuff that's working for me, and kind of looking back at the same time, taking some time to myself to reflect on what's going well, what's not going well. So I encourage everybody to do that at this time, especially like with all the market conditions of the pandemic and things like that. So it's a good time to do that, I think.
Got it. Cool. And if somebody was wanting to reach out to you, had any questions about digital
Mhm.
transformation, how would be a good way of reaching out to you?
The best way to reach out to me is to connect through LinkedIn. Perhaps you can mention this podcast and say, hey, listen to you, loved it, enjoyed it, or whatever comments you have. That way I know somewhat know me. So LinkedIn, David Jitendranath, if you look it up, you'll find me. And then the second way would be going to themodestack.com, themodestack.com.
Themodestack.com. Got it. Well, David, it's been a pleasure having you on here. And until next time, if you're, again, I'm Jim Punzenberger, the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking for leads and or appointments without cold calling or ad spend and not without spamming, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. And see you next time. Bye for now.
Jim, thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.